Welcome to the week that was, but we mostly wish it wasn't, for the week ending January 23rd, 2026. This is a weekly roundup of the highlights and lowlights of campus anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism. This week I had around 40 stories to choose from. If something is happening in your neck of the woods, please be sure to let me know. I'm your host, Andrew Pessin. I am a professor. Please don't hate me. For more about me and my work, visit andrewpessin.com. For all the details of today's stories and loads more stories, please follow me on X at Andrew Pessin. Start with my announcement. I have now launched the Institute for the Critical Study of Anti-Zionism, a scholarly enterprise aiming to document and expose the origin, evolution, and contemporary manifestations of anti-Zionism as an ideology, a worldview, and a movement. I am seeking interested collaborators and possible sponsors. If that's you, please get in touch with me to discuss. I also want to note a 6 webinar series is beginning in a few weeks. This will be the inaugural project of the Institute for the Critical Study of Anti-Zionism. To stay abreast and get the schedule and register for these webinars, please subscribe to the free Substack, icsa.substack.com. All right, let's get to the news. Columbia University. Columbia's anti-Israel activist Mahmoud Khalil was reported this week to finally be en route to Algeria. He will soon be deported to Algeria, according to a spokesperson. Meanwhile, Columbia, Israel, and I would say Jew-hating professor Joseph Massad, a long history of anti-Israel activism and commentary, who also praised the October 7th massacre, is still teaching a required course on Zionism there. Similarly, an adjunct professor there who protested last year alongside Mahmoud Khalil wearing a Hamas headband is still listed as a faculty member at Columbia. So perhaps the Trump administration's pressure is not doing a whole lot there. In the shocking news category, a new report claims that Students for Justice in Palestine, SJP, often receives its talking points directly from Hamas. There have been numerous documented episodes over the past year or two of various student groups, including SJP, literally distributing Hamas literature. So no shocker at all. The University of Washington today, I believe, is hosting a radical anti-Israel conference. The event happens to come days after the school revoked the suspensions of students who caused $1 million in damages during last year's protest against Israel. A university professor who resigned from her position due to a Title VI anti-Semitism investigation, and another who organized large anti-Israel demonstrations are among the featured speakers at the event happening today, organized, of course, by the Middle Eastern Studies Department. Harvard University, the Medical and Dental SJP, they specialize now, is sponsoring an anti-Israel speaker series this week and next entitled Genocide, Racism, and Health in Sudan and Palestine, including such sessions as anti-Palestinian racism. A federal judge said yesterday that he will issue an order aimed at protecting academics who challenge the arrest and deportation of non-citizen pro-Palestinian activists on college campuses. George Mason University. This week, the new Virginia governor appointed to its board of visitors a man who is a lobbyist for Qatar, who has a long history of using anti-Semitic tropes and anti-Zionism. Meanwhile, terror group paraphernalia is being sold at a fundraiser at a New York youth center. A pop-up shop, which was allegedly held to support Sudan, features items in support of Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, all of which are designated as foreign terrorist organizations. The footage showed tables at the event arrayed with keychains, pins, and stickers, merch, in support of Hamas, Hezbollah, and PFLP. This fundraiser took place at the Muslim American Society Youth Center in Brooklyn. The University of Toronto, posters accusing Israel of being a colonial settler state and alleging widespread destruction of academic institutions, were discovered this week on a wall at the University of Toronto, immediately adjacent to offices associated with Jewish studies. The folks there, the Jewish studies affiliated peoples there, say that the placement feels targeted and creates an intimidating academic environment. In the United Kingdom, a Jewish campus support group called the University Jewish Chaplaincy, which works with more than 9,000 Jews across 100 universities in the United Kingdom, issued a report this week documenting hundreds of incidents that it has logged over the past year, including a case where a student was pushed down a staircase for wearing a kippah, and a Muslim chaplain at a Scottish university targeted Jews with questions about Israeli genocide. In the BDS department, boycott, divestment, sanctions, a victory this week. At Yale University, the advisory committee there rejected two student proposals for BDS. In the K through 12 department, always a burning fire. Cherry Hill, Pennsylvania, there was an anti-Semitism lawsuit against the school district there, and that has settled in this past week. The suit was filed by the Zionist Organization of America on behalf of a Jewish student who was a proud and vocal Israel supporter and was repeatedly threatened and nearly physically assaulted by other students after he documented on social media the provocative, dangerous pro-terrorist Hamas conduct of fellow pro-terrorist Hamas conduct of fellow students. The terms are pretty favorable. The school district has to make a whole bunch of changes to deal with the anti-Semitism there. Also, Charlotte, North Carolina, the JCC and Jewish Day School there were hit with flyers with a swastika and a noose threatening to, quote, swing you by the neck, and featuring a slogan saying, join your local Nazis. Similarly, a Brooklyn playground frequented by Orthodox Jewish children was defaced with swastikas spray painted on the slides, then hit a second time the next night with dozens more. I read just this morning that two 15-year-olds have been arrested and are being charged with hate crimes. In the United Kingdom, K through 12, a report came out that the number of schools commemorating the Holocaust has dropped in half since the October 7th massacre, as teachers are afraid of dealing with anti-Semitic parents protesting the commemoration of the Holocaust. And indeed, the report continues that some of the schools are using the opportunity to talk about Gaza instead. Well, that's the news, unfortunately. Tune in next week to see what fresh horrors next week will bring. Again, I'm your host, Andrew Pessin at andrewpessin.com, and hoping that everyone can hold it together until next week.